We've got a great session for you today. We've got some great speakers lined up. Chris Eustace is the CEO of SparkGrid Software. Chris is a 16-year veteran of Salesforce consulting world. He's worked with over 600 companies, helping them get more out of their CRMs. And he now focuses on building powerful HubSpot apps for the HubSpot marketplace. Amanda is in charge of partnerships at Box. She leads strategic partnerships at Box and is a longtime friend of the Hub community. So thank you both for joining us today. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to you, Chris and Amanda.
My name is Chris Eustace. I am the CEO of SparkGrid Software. We've been doing CRM stuff for the last almost 17 years and had worked with Box quite significantly in the past. Box is an extremely powerful content platform, but there's a lot of extra things with it. So there's one of their biggest things is compliance. So if you're ever working or need some sort of compliance and HubSpot does not have these compliances, this is your answer to unlock those things. So if you're working with federal agencies, FedRAMP or FINRA or any of these different certifications, we can pass along some information later for what certifications actually they support, but it's basically everything under the sun. But at the end of the day, the way I like to explain Box is like Dropbox, but for the big boys, right? So it's does a lot more. There's a lot more security controls, a lot more with AI and metadata and all these other things. So that being said, I'm going to talk about how we've integrated Box and HubSpot. There's essentially three pillars that we start with, right? So we basically have the files component. So this is going to be the user interface that your users will use to interact with files in relation to your records in CRM. Your second piece is workflow. This, in my opinion, is our most powerful piece. So this is being able to automate all types of things on receiving files, sending files, renaming files. I'll give some demonstrations on that. And the third piece is Box Sign. So with a Box subscription, they actually give you unlimited e-signatures. So we built in a way to dynamically generate documents from HubSpot data and send those off and have that really work seamlessly with HubSpot. Any questions sort of before I begin? And team, if you see somebody pop up in the chat, I'm usually not great
I'll,
about.
I'll keep an eye on it, Chris.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so first thing I'm going to show you is within HubSpot how this looks from the files portion or the kind of the user interface. So this is so you'll see here that we have a tab here for Box, and this is our integration. Note that we can embed this on any object in HubSpot. So it could be standard object, custom object, you name it. And the first thing you'll see is I'm on a company record called Electromet. And you'll notice that in Box, it brought me automatically to the Electromet folder, and we have a subfolder A and B. Now, if we go back, I can start to peruse all my documents that my whole entire enterprise owns, but we can pin one or multiple folders to a record. So that way, when somebody else comes in, they can come right to the relevant information and be able to work with those files. Another thing to note is everything is driven through Box permissioning, so Box API. So if you do not have access to certain files within your organization, if you do not have access to perform actions like deleting or sharing or renaming or what have you, they will not be provisioned and will not show up on the screen. You will not be able to access the files, see the files, anything if you do not have permission from the Box permissioning model. Last thing I'll point out here on the UI is we use the Box previewer to be able to preview the document, and they preview up to, Amanda can probably help me here, something like 130 different types of documents, like all types of stuff. I don't know if you have anything to expand on there, Amanda.
Most all types of documents.
So I will I'll share some information about like the actions that you can perform in here. So you can do things like add folder, upload files, of course. These are going to go directly to Box. Some powerful stuff is you can share files and folders securely with your clients, and you can perform file requests. So sharing out a file or a folder, if I want to come in and actually share out this file with an individual, I can set my access level, set a password, create a secure shared link, compose that email, and here it is. that they will get a secure link to this. And we can obviously password protect it, put security on it, all that great stuff. Secondly, what's really cool is being able to collect documents. So if you're working with someone and you need to collect documents securely that might have PII, personal identifier information, it's all kind of going to be secured and locked in with Box, but I'm going to show you how that works from a manual perspective, and then we'll show you how to automate that. So here we have a subfolder A. So I'm going to go ahead and create a file request, and you can create different templates with different verbiage in them, different titles, different sections. But I'm going to come in and say this, and I can say, please upload your info. And I'm going to create that file request, compose the email. Now, when I go and when they get the email, what they will see is this file request here. You can upload up to 50 gigabytes individually for documents. Custom information, you can have it tailored and have your custom logo up here so they know that they can trust where they're uploading these documents to. As soon as they're uploaded, they will immediately show within HubSpot. And we can send a notification through Box Relay saying, hey, documents have been uploaded, go ahead and peruse them, what have you. Any questions on kind of the files portion of the integration? No? Okay. Oh, I see something in the chat. I love this. All right. So now comes the more powerful stuff, from my opinion. So workflows. So as a lot of people know, your CRM really becomes powerful once you automate kind of rote or redundant things. So I'm going to start with a very simple example here and kind of expand on that a little bit. So if you recall, we went to the company record, we went to Electromet, and there was a subfolder A and a subfolder B, and the folder was stuck to the record or pinned to the record. But that actually all happened. All I did was create the company record, and everything else happened automatically. So when a company record is created, we want to go in, create a box folder with the company name. We want to pin the folder to the record. We then want to create a subfolder A and a subfolder B. So you can automatically create folder structures based on things happening, based on deal stages changing, etc. Right? So all that type of stuff. I think I just saw a chat come up. Yes, you can absolutely upload multiple documents. Yes, and each file can be up to 50 gigabytes in size, depending anywhere from like 5 to 50 gigabytes, depending on the edition of Box that you have. But you can absolutely upload multiple documents, and you can have sections. So you could have like, please upload your W-9 here. Please upload your bank statements here. You can have custom instructions, and it's a WYSIWYG kind of editor to build the file request thing. So I showed a very simple example of a workflow, but what we've actually done is expose close to 40 functions from the Box API to HubSpot workflow. So this is start with something really simple, like creating a file request, like I showed you. So we could have a deal, and the salesperson could move the deal to collect tax documents from maybe their new client. All they do is move that stage. It's automatically going to create that file request, send it off to them with the custom instructions, send off that email. You do not have to touch it, right? It just happens. They get alerted when the files have been uploaded. To really cool and complicated stuff. So we can do anything in relation to files. So we can create folders and files, rename, delete, move, copy, you name it, any file operation you can think of. And then even more powerfully, we can do a lot with Box metadata and Box AI. So we can actually write to Box metadata, just like HubSpot metadata, and keep Box metadata and HubSpot metadata in sync. So if you're using AI on either end of things, you can receive it. We can use Box AI and write prompts right within this interface here that we're actually going to go in and we could say, hey, go in and identify what type of file this is, or look at a file and pull out the payment terms and automatically write it to a property in HubSpot. That can all happen through workflow, absolutely no code. As you can see, we have close to 40 functions. We are adding to this all the time whenever new features and functions get added. But any questions on kind of the power of workflow and what you can do here? No? Okay. Lastly, what I'll show you is the sign piece. So like I said, Box provides unlimited e-signatures for as part of their subscription. So I'm going to go to the Box sign tab here because I went to the Box folder. I'm just on a contact, and I'm going to initiate a sign request and send it off to this customer. So first off, what it's going to do is go look at Box and find my Box sign templates that I previously created. So I create a Box sign template and I perform a mapping so that way it knows to grab information from the record I'm sitting on and dynamically populate it. So first off, I'm going to select my template that I have. And I'm going to simply walk through this wizard to send my merge document. So first off, here I'm who I'm sending from and who I'm sending to. Next. I can customize my email subject and body. Next. Now here we have this thing called a pre-fill template. So what this is doing is going and dynamically grabbing my data from my HubSpot record that I'm sitting on. And we grabbed a bunch of fields here, but you can do as few or as many as you need. It's gone in and grabbed all the information about Wesley. I'm going to now create that sign request for the individual. That is done. I'm going to go and prepare that document. So here you can see, here's my document with all the data merged in from HubSpot. I can preview it, make sure everything looks good. I can make quick edits if I have to. Go ahead and hit send request. And the really cool thing that we do here is we actually start logging to your activity timeline, everything that's going on with that sign request. So if the sign request is sent or opened or completed, we can kick additional workflows off of those in order to create additional automation. So move that deal to close one when the document has been signed, or check off something that they are approved after they upload XYZ, or sign XYZ, sign an NDA, something like that. So those are really the three components of the integration. So Box is a per seat subscription. And the integration is actually, we just have one flat price for the entire org, depending on the functionality that you need.